Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Lace Covered Skies. I'm here today with flip throughs of these notebooks, and I call them notebooks because they are not exactly junk journals. They can be used as junk journals or art journals, but I decided to make this collection of notebooks for Mother's Day, and I kind of wanted to make it more user-friendly to people who do not necessarily junk journal. When I got into junk journals, I really loved the idea of using vintage sewing patterns as covers, and I have done junk journals like that in the past, but I wanted to do this for Mother's Day so that if someone wanted to get something for their mom or a mom friend or whoever as a gift, but if that person does not use junk journals or if they don't know what a junk journal is, this would work as well. So I think what I'm going to do is go over the pages after I go over all the covers, because there are some vintage pages inside of these. So let's go ahead and look at each cover first. This is a Bazic sewing pattern, and whoever used this wrote 1976 on there. Now I think Bazic does not include the date, so there is no date on here, but someone did write 1976. So I constructed the covers from the sewing patterns themselves. So I just folded it over, left it very raw and rustic looking, but I did seal everything in very carefully. Any raw edges around the book cover as well as on the inside cover. The back looks like that, and like I said, it's very just plain looking. You can decorate this up yourself if you want, but I wanted to keep the natural look of the pattern envelope itself. So that's the first one right there. Here's this one from a Simplicity pattern, and let me see if there's a date on here somewhere. No, it looks like it was right there. So it got punched out, but you can kind of look at the price and gauge where it's from. But it's definitely a vintage pattern, and as you can see, it just shows a very raw edge. I sealed everything like I mentioned before. It's just a very plain notebook, which is what I wanted these to be. So there's that one, and then this one from Simplicity as well. I believe I selected ones that were all from the 70s. Let's see. See this? You can kind of see that it says 1970 something, but not exactly. Like you can't really make it all out. There was a little rip right here. I sealed it in with glue, and I just reinforced all the weakened areas with glue. Now I did make a mistake on this one. I punched on the wrong side. So I covered it up with this ribbon that looks like a tape measure, which I think turned out great. I love the look of that. And then I did end papers on it as well, or one end paper. The front, you can still see the original flap. Now this one is from Bazic as well. And when I couldn't find the date, because I wanted all these from around the 70s. I picked like a price range that seemed like it would have been from the 70s. Someone did write 75 here, November 20th, 1975. And as you can see, it's all sealed down, so it's pretty seamless, but you can see the original pattern envelope. And then there's this one. Let's see if the date shows here. I think it might have been around here somewhere, but doesn't show. And then this one, another simplicity one. And this one, you can kind of see that it says 1970. I think that might be 1977. Not sure if you can see that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the pages. This is from a 1984 reproduction of some Dick and Jane books that were originally from the 40s, and I think one from the 50s. This is from a textbook from the 1950s, a children's math textbook. Some graph paper, math textbook. So I basically made 6 sections of just regular notebook paper, and in between those sections are these pages that I'm showing you. This is just a printable, some ledger paper, a flower book, that Dick and Jane book again, some graph paper, a 1970s vintage dictionary page. This is from a textbook, from a language arts textbook from the 50s. This is printed onto vintage tracing paper. This is from a nature book, vintage dictionary page, plant book. The notebook paper is just regular notebook paper that I cut. That Dick and Jane book, that language arts textbook, some more graph paper, it's from a National Geographic magazine from the 1950s. This is from a music book from 1900, like exactly 1900. Some more ledger paper. This is a printable. And then there are more notebook pages. So total, including everything, these books contain, I wrote on the listing that it's 82 pages, but some of them have 83 pages. So I just put the lesser amount. And that's notebook paper combined with all the book pages and vintage book pages. 82 pages. And the measurements. They're all the same size. They are 8.5 by 5 1/4, maybe a tiny bit larger than 5 1/4, not including the rings. And they are hardcover. So let me show you in the listing. So all the pages that I showed you inside, they're the exact same pages for all of them, but of course they're different pages. Like every book has, the beginning is a Dick and Jane book page, but of course it's a different one. what else? So in the listing, I listed it as the number of the style and the brand. So this would be 7911 Simplicity. So that's what you would pick from the drop down menu. This is a 3590 Butterick, and I did repair this little area right here. Sorry. So that is repaired, sealed, and everything. This is 5023 Simplicity. That's what you would pick on the drop down menu if you chose this. This is 5229 Simplicity. And this one, it was a very wide pattern, so it got cut off, but it listed in the back here 7679. So you can see 679. There's nothing else that ends in 679 in this collection. So you would choose, 7679, but since you can't see it, you can just choose something that ends in 679 if you wanted this notebook. And the last one is this one right here, 4792 Butterick. But yeah, I have 4 journals that are pretty much done that are coming up next, but I really wanted to do these because I've been loving my Bind It All, and I love this look. I really love it. Like, I think it just looks so cool, and I wanted to make a bunch of these. I might make some more, so, but let me know. What do you guys think of these more simple notebooks or art journals? Would you guys make these types of books? I've always liked the idea of making something more simple, just to kind of switch back and forth between like a full decked out junk journal, because when I make junk journals, I just deck it out completely. But then I do like doing something simple like this too. Let me grab something to show you guys. The first really simple one that I did was done probably 4 years ago, and it was this one from a Nancy Drew book. I originally wanted to make this so I could use it as at work as a regular notebook, and I had a lot of fun just putting different pages in here, and it was quick and simple. And I ended up using this to write down favorite movies and then movies I want to watch. This whole section right here, at one point I was like rating the movies I was watching, but I download Pluto TV. It's a free streaming service, and there's an on-demand side as well as like a regular TV side, and you do have to watch commercials. So it's basically just kind of like TV, but there's tons of movies and TV shows and like classic TV on there, which I love. So I wrote down everything I wanted to watch, and as I watched them, I was rating them, which sometimes I really love doing that. So I did that in here. And then these were all my library receipts, although I threw a whole bunch away because sometimes I want to keep a record of all the books that I've read, because there are so many books that I've read that I've forgotten the title and the author, so I can never find them again. And then these are ideas for glue books. I like the idea of making a glue book and just writing song lyrics, so that's what I was kind of writing down here. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea for these, just something more simple, more of a notebook, more for general use. But I hope you guys will check this out in my shop. I will have it linked down below, and I hope you'll go over and follow me on TikTok. My name is a little bit different on TikTok. It's Enchanted Paper Cottage. So if you guys are on TikTok, I'd love to see you guys over there. But thank you so much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.